Hi there, my name's Philip Ring. I'm senior producer at TT Games, here talking about LEGO Marvel Superheroes, and you're watching Eurogamer.
Hey LEGO fans, Ian from Eurogamer here with an exclusive interview about the newest game in the very busy LEGO franchise. Recently I took a trip to the studios of TT Games, the developers of LEGO Marvel Superheroes, to try it out for myself, and while I was there I grabbed some brand new footage of the game, the stuff you can see right now, which is taken from the Asgard level, and I also asked a couple of the company's very own superheroes about what the game has in store for us. Marvellous! Lol.
LEGO Marvel Superheroes, we're really excited about this game because we get to kind of play in this huge Marvel universe. We're going to tell our own original story on this. It's great because it means we get to switch characters in and out, go to some really cool Marvel locations, so places in the real world like Grand Central Station, and then going on to fantastical places like Asgard and some other really cool Marvel locations. With this story, we're switching characters in and out. So the very first level of the game, you're Iron Man, Hulk and Spider-Man. Second level, you then get to play as Mr. Fantastic and Captain America. And being able to kind of have this kind of interplay between different characters that people might not have seen before means that we get to do some really cool, funny things.
We try to basically take all the best bits from Marvel, really, and just bring it all together into one awesome story. So you've obviously got a huge amount of heroes facing off against a huge amount of villains. It's the best of the bunch on both sides, and it all comes to a head with one of the most awesome villains that you'll probably know about in Marvel mythos.
We've been told that there are over 100 playable characters in the game, but not all of them will be taking starring roles. Can you let us know which heroes and villains will be in the forefront of the gameplay experience?
We do have over 100 characters in the game, and the story kind of follows specific characters and what's happening, and we knew that there were going to be some fan favourites that people would want to play as through the story. So the main story arc follows Loki, and he's kind of doing something. He's recruiting some villains to kind of create this giant weapon to effectively take over the Earth. And then we have these hero characters coming together to kind of join forces to try and defeat them. So we have people like Iron Man, Hulk, Spider-Man, Thor, Wolverine. These are all characters that are going to come back. They were kind of recurring characters within the story. So you may play a couple of levels with Spider-Man in your party, but then there'll be another couple of levels where you're Iron Man, a couple of levels where you maybe have some characters from the X-Men world come in. And so being able to kind of switch these characters in and follow them as they've got their own different kind of effectively motivations as to why they're helping out in this story. It meant that we had this kind of bigger cast of story characters than we've ever had in the past. We also wanted to do some things that we could include some of the other characters. We knew there were going to be some fan favourites out there, so people like Deadpool, who might not necessarily feature directly as a main story character, but we wanted a huge amount of content there for Deadpool fans. So we're doing things a bit different with him. He kind of pops in and out at different points of the gameplay, and then we've done some special things around that character, and that's reflected in some of the Marvel worlds that we visit as well.
Well, Nick Fury obviously being the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he's obviously always going to play a huge part in the story. Obviously, he was heavily involved in the Marvel films where we saw the Avengers come together for the first time, and I think he did cameo in a few of those films building up to that as well. So he's obviously got a big role to play. He's got an even bigger challenge to defend the Earth this time than we've seen previously, which means he needs a bigger team. To do that, he's going to have to reach out further afield than just the Avengers this time.
Hulk, you have to remember to look before you leap.
People really enjoyed the open world aspects of LEGO City Undercover, as that was a bit of fresh air for the series. My spider senses are tingling and telling me that you may have an open world hub in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, based around New York City. Can you explain a little more about what this will bring to the game?
Or we just smash our way. Good plan.
We are trying to create this huge New York environment, obviously in Lego form, and it's a caricature version of New York. Obviously, to make a full-scale New York's quite a challenge.
it's a Lego Marvel New York. So you go to the Statue of Liberty and it's a giant Lego version of it. But there's also Marvel locations there. So we've got things like Stark Tower, so other kind of Marvel themed locations which kind of populate this world. What happens after you complete the very first level, which is Grand Central? We then place players directly onto the Shield helicarrier. The Shield helicarrier is hovering over New York City. We then have a section where you can actually skydive off the helicarrier into New York, which is kind of a really cool kind of set piece that we've got in the game. And then you can start exploring New York. And we wanted people to keep coming back to this New York hub, finding new content which changes over the course of the story. So as you encounter new enemies and new bad guys and new kind of villains, the New York City then becomes populated with their henchmen. So as you're playing, you see more content in the story, which then reflects more content that you get to explore in the city itself. And there's a huge amount of kind of side missions in there as well. Really wanted to kind of make it feel like it is New York City. New York City's hustle and bustle, so that we wanted to reflect that, not only just in characters that are running around, the people that you encounter, but also the gameplay. So you'll find more kind of Lego elements to interact with, and that's all kind of this idea about pushing the engine to include more. So more things to interact, more kind of Lego. The idea is you want to go around every corner and see something that you can do, and that's what we wanted to reflect in the gameplay.
Lego games do seem to be released rather frequently. What are you doing with this game to innovate the franchise and make sure that the formula is not going to start feeling stale to gamers who have played the majority of your titles?
With Lego Marvel Superheroes, we really kind of want to strip the game back and say what's going to make this game special and different to what we've done in the past. We spend a lot of time working with Lego, and the second that we saw characters like the Hulk and what they were doing with the model, and this is no longer a minifig, it's now a big fig, and we were like, well, this is fantastic. We can do things here that we couldn't do in the past. We want to have this character feel different, the way he runs around the environment, his abilities, so you pick up cars, he can smash, he's got this giant thunderclap move, making him feel like something that people who've played Lego games before have never had in that control before, because that's how Hulk feels in the Marvel world. He's this kind of unstoppable force. You want to be able to have that reflected gameplay. But then we were looking at all the other characters and going, well, if the Hulk feels this unique, we need to make everyone else feel cool as well. So being able to have people like Wolverine, he needs to feel different to every other character. Iron Man, Human Torch, Venom. When you're playing as all of these characters, people who are fans are going to expect certain abilities, certain kind of mechanics, the way that these characters interact in the world. And we were, right from the start, were saying, okay, well, we need to do that justice. We need to know that if you're a fan of the Human Torch, you can come in and use that character and he's going to feel like the Human Torch. He's going to feel unique for that gaming experience. And then that kind of changed the way that we did things in the puzzles in the world. So we pushed the engine so we can have more and more in the game than we've ever done in the past, which means that we can have more Lego, more kind of enemies to fight. And that kind of makes the game feel different, because all of a sudden you're fighting waves of enemies in a different way than we've done in the past. And using all these kind of new unique abilities that the characters have, just to kind of make it feel like it's this kind of special world that you're playing in.
Spider sense is tingling.
During my hands-on with a game, I couldn't help feel that no matter how many new characters are put into it, the whole premise behind Lego games was becoming a bit tired and needed something to invigorate the proceedings, rather than just a fresh coat of paint to the engine and character models once a year. And really, I was just about to write it off as another quick-to-produce clone of a successful idea that will make money through copy and pasting rather than innovation. However, another games journalist who was at the event at the same time brought his young children along with him to get their opinions, and as they scrambled for the controllers, their eyes lit up with joy, super excited to be playing a new Lego game. After about 5 minutes they were totally absorbed in the action, gushing about their favourite Marvel characters to whomever would listen as they expertly smashed blocks, solved puzzles and collected studs. While I, as an adult, do still find the formula of Lego games to be slightly dull now, no matter what the subject matter is, it's plain to see that the guys at TT Games know their stuff when it comes to producing games aimed at children. And while I'm pretty sure that any Marvel-loving parent may find something to stare at a couple of times per level, it'll be the target audience, their kids, who truly appreciate it as they are once again drawn into a bright, light-hearted adventure in the Lego universe. Oh, to be young again. Make sure you give us a subscribe by clicking on that on-screen annotation if you want more exclusive interviews, early gameplay previews and interactive Let's Plays all the time on Eurogamer. It's super.
Oh no! I'm melting! Melting! No, wait, I mean, I'm solidifying! Solidifying! Oh, what a world! No!